So the name of the centers are Super Readers Workshop. And so rationale of literacy centers. So classrooms and schools today are very diverse because they include a diverse group of students, specifically children with diverse cultures and languages. So for these students' needs to be met, it is essential that their learning activities and instruction has a connection to their identities, languages, and culture. So culturally relevant literacy provides learners with meaningful text, vocabulary that they are more familiar with, and student-centered activities. All students learn in different ways at different paces, which is why differentiated learning is important because all students benefit from what they are learning. So the Literacy Centers designed will help students learn to work with peers, use their knowledge to complete tasks independently, and allow students who speak a different language to practice their reading, speaking, and listening skills by strengthening them through a hands-on learning environment. So the Word Builders Workshop is the first center, and the TEKS for this are for first grade. So the first TEK is demonstrate and apply phonic knowledge by decoding words in isolation and in context by applying common letter sounds correspondence. The second TEK is demonstrate and apply spelling knowledge by spelling words using spelling patterns. The third one is develop social communication, such as introducing himself/herself and others, relating experiences to a classmate, and expressing needs and feelings. So the three objectives for this center are: students will apply letter sounds in order to decode words, students will use spelling to see patterns in words, and students will express ideas using English or a home language support card. Okay, so the center setting description. When students are at the sound and share station, they are at a small table with baskets consisting of different colors with labels, word cards, spelling cards, and talk cards. So the word cards include simple words such as CVC and CVCC words, each paired with a picture to support multilingual learners to connect words to pictures. So in another basket on the table, there are letter cards, and these will help students build and manipulate spelling pattern words. In the last basket, there are talk cards that include sentence starters like I built the word ... This I can use to ... or I am proud of ... And this just helps students make complete sentences and supports communication and helps me as the teacher know what the students got out of the lesson. So there will be directions with pictures so students are not confused when they are working at the station. So this station is done in pairs so students have the opportunity to work with peers and learn from each other. So this literacy center will help students become more confident in reading, spelling, and conversation skills. So the center activity description. So the first thing students will do is choose a card that has pictures and words on them and decode the word out loud. So to sound out these words, students should be sliding their fingers under the letters. The second thing they will do is students will use letter cards. So with these letter cards, students will build a word. The words that they spell will have a spelling pattern that students will have to pay attention to the ending of the word. So in this case, the spelling pattern ends in OCK, so O-C-K. And then the third thing students will do is partners will check each other's work. So after their words are checked by their partner, the students select a talk card to guide a short conversation reflecting on what the takeaway from this center was. The fourth thing students will do is share the words they spell and explain how they decode the word. The fifth thing they will do is after the first partner has shared, they switch roles and the second partner shares, repeating what they came up with. So if students are English language learners, then they can use a home language support card to complete the task. So this activity helps strengthen students' decoding ability, spelling pattern knowledge, and enhances student social communication. So these are beneficial skills students must have in order to excel in their education. So the second literacy center is called Story Explorers. So the TEKS are still for the first grade, and the first one is developing and sustaining foundational language skills, listening, speaking, reading, writing, and thinking fluency. The second one is discuss topics and determine theme using text evidence with adult assistance. And the third one is recognize characteristics and structures of informational text, including organizational patterns such as chronological order and description with adult assistance. So the three objectives I have chosen for this literacy center are: students will read short, culturally diverse text with appropriate pacing, students will retell a story using picture sequencing cards, and students will discuss short stories with a partner using sentence frames. So the center setting description. So the setting for the center is in a story den, which is a reading nook that's in the corner of the classroom usually, and it includes a diverse selection of books that includes multilingual and culturally diverse books. So once students have chosen a book, they will use sequencing cards with different characters. So this helps them comprehend what they are reading. A story retell map is going to be used next to show the beginning, middle, and end of the book that the students have selected, and this will be colorful and have pictures for visual clarity. Next, students will have sentence starters such as, I noticed, the story reminds me of, and in my culture, to help students start their writing and involve different cultures. So students work in pairs and can sit in the story den section of the classroom on cushions. So students will pick from the book basket in their story den that are sorted by color, and these are sorted by color just to rate the difficulty of the text. So this space gives students a comfortable setting where they work on reading, comprehending more difficult text. So this helps students grow in their reading ability and helps them gain confidence as they become more skilled readers by engaging with meaningful stories. So the center activity description, the first thing students will do is select a short book that is accurate to their reading level or even slightly above their reading level. The selection of books have culturally relevant themes, so they can have themes such as family, food, or celebrations. So the second thing students will do is read the text independently or whisper read with a partner. And students need to focus on reading smoothly and with proficient pace. So the third thing students will do is choose sequencing cards that match their book and place them onto the story retell map. The fourth thing students will do is use pictures and sentence starters to assist students. Each student will retell the story to a partner, identify the beginning, middle, and end. And the last thing they will do is switch roles, and the second partner will give a positive feedback by telling their partner 2 things that they liked and 1 thing that they can improve on. So this center helps introduce students to different cultures while also supporting fluency, comprehension, and oral language for all students. So this is just the worksheet for the Sound and Share, and students will do the read it section. The second thing they'll do is build it. The third thing they'll do is spell it, and fourth thing they'll do is share it. And then after that, the last thing they will do is just partner check and just say yes or no if their partner discussed their words. Okay, and for final thoughts, after creating the literacy centers, I have realized the importance of making your classroom an inclusive environment that supports the diversity of every student, including multilingual and culturally diverse learners. Something that I have taken away from this lesson is the importance of hands-on activities versus just simple writing activities. So students who speak a different language benefit greatly from this because they are interacting while learning, connecting the activity to the lesson. I also thought it was beneficial to use student-directed activities so students can take more control of their learning and gain confidence in their reading skills. So one of my biggest challenges I faced with this activity was aligning the activities to the TEKS. I didn't want the activities to be far-fetched from the TEKS I chose, so that took a lot of thought and I found myself stuck at times. My plan of implication in my future teaching is to implement culturally relevant features in my lessons, such as centers, and make them hands-on for students to give them a different way to learn. I need to learn more about the different cultures of students so I can adapt my lessons to make it relevant for those learners.